Wow. Yo, I cannot believe that the Black Winter showed Thor. Welcome back, everyone. AR Comics here. Did you really think I was going to spoil Thor 6 at the beginning of the episode? Hell no. But before I get started on any of these reviews, if you like comics, comic speculation, and anything comic related, please consider hitting the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. I drop comic videos every Monday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes I have unboxings in between as well. So you don't want to miss out. So, this was a hell of a week for books, as always. I feel like I've been saying that for the last few weeks now, but it's another heavy-hitting week. So let's jump right into it. First up, we have Dead Day number 2. I didn't think at first I was going to be able to get this one. My shop said they only had a limited amount, and it was for people who subscribed to it. I forgot. It happens. But honestly, it was a pretty good issue. Just like the last one, it's not really what you're expecting. It's a little bit different, so let's get into it. So Dead Day 2 by Aftershock is a super unique series to me. It's not your typical standard zombie series that everyone's used to, but instead they treat it like a Day of the Dead. The dead comes back to life, and it's like a celebration to a lot of people. They get to see some lost family members, or people are trying to boarder up their house because they don't want that family member or whoever coming back to kill them, because they're trying to get revenge. So that's what a lot of the series is right now. It follows the wife from the last issue, and she's with her ex-husband, who obviously died, and they're trying to settle some business to see who actually killed him. And I think there's some money involved, so we don't really have a whole lot of info yet, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. You have some policing groups that do some DUI checkpoints, you have some satanic groups that perform the rituals every year, and I really do think this is a series worth reading, and I think it's only going to get better. So what'd you think? Not too bad of an issue. I personally liked it. I like the route that they're kind of going with it, not the typical zombie issue or the zombie, comic book, but I think they got a good thing going for them. So good work, Aftershock. I like it. Next up, we have Gideon Falls 24. I'm going to show off the cover for you, but sadly I won't be reviewing it today. 24 issues. I'm not all caught up yet. I just recently picked up the first 22 or 23, so I'm only on issue 15 right now. I'm trying, but there's too many. But instead, I was able to get Once and Future number 10 for you guys. I didn't think I'd be getting it, but I was able to find the last few issues that I've missed out on, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. I really love the artwork. The artwork is so unique, and it just stands out to me. But I don't know, the story itself really, it just isn't doing it for me. So let's check it out. So next we have Once and Future 10. This is an issue I really wasn't sure I was going to get, but once I was able to get the last few issues, I gave it a shot anyway. And it's kind of the same thing as I've been thinking this whole time. I really enjoy the artwork, and I just deep down really want to enjoy this story, but I just don't. I'm not into the medieval aspect that they're going for, but I really like how it's just a grandma and a kid, and they're going monster hunting. I think that's really cool, and I just always wanted to get better. But this issue follows how it's been with King Arthur. They brought in Beowulf, and now they brought in the new fairy tale, well, not fairy tale, but story with Grendel. And it follows both of those characters the whole time. At this point, Beowulf has died though, and the Grendel monster has taken over. So they're trying to figure out how to stop it, and they have to kind of base it off the story itself. And in the poem of Beowulf, Grendel was killed by Beowulf. But since they killed Beowulf in the last issue, they're kind of screwed now at this point. So overall, I do think it's a good series, but it's just not something I'm into. But I'm sure I can see why other people are. So that was issue 10. I don't know. I think it's just the medieval. I don't think I'm into it. I don't think I'm really interested in the story itself with the medieval knights, King Arthur, Beowulf. It's so cool, but it's just not for me. I can understand why it's a great story, and I can understand why a lot of people were buying it, but not for me. Next up, we have Star, number 4. One of the big issues and characters that I've been talking about a lot lately, especially if you're following me on Instagram. I'm loving it. I already made another video, check it out right there, about all speculation revolving Ripley Ryan's Star character, how I think she's going to be a big star. I think she's going to be really big coming up. She's already got the reality stone attached to her. People want it, and I don't know. I think it's going to happen, so let's dig into it. Next up, we have star number 4. Overall, I really like this series so far. I'm really happy they brought it back to printing after they said it was just going to be straight digital, and I think it was a good choice on their end. This issue picks up where the last one left off. Star still can't really control her powers with the Reality Stone, and Captain Marvel steps in and she's trying to contain her. It turns into a big fight. Star thinks Captain Marvel's trying to kill her based on the last time they got into an incident in the Captain Marvel run. And the whole time while they're fighting, the Black Order is just kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting for the right time to pounce because they want the Reality Stone for themselves. They eventually get into it because, Captain Marvel obviously stepped in, and it just turns into a huge fight. After, some team-ups between Ripley Ryan and Carol Danvers, it turns into a whole new thing. Crazy issue. I cannot wait for the 5th issue. I think it's going to turn into a whole new series of its own, and I'm really looking forward to it. Right? That's a pretty badass issue. I'm really liking it so far. I think the series is great. I'm glad they released another issue. Sadly, there's only one more, but I think they're going to continue on with it. Just my opinion, but overall, I really like this issue. Next up, we have Maestro number 1. I fucking love this cover. I saw it and I had to get it immediately. The crazy thing is there was only one issue left for cover A, and there was a fat stack of these issues. Are people not digging this? Do they not like the homage cover? I don't know. I love it. I thought the issue itself was really cool, so let's check it out. Next up, we have Maestro number 1. I'm really happy I ended up picking it up, as it was a fantastic read. I really enjoyed the artwork. Peter David did a fantastic job on it as well, and the panels were just great to look at. Sometimes I just had to go back after I was finished reading the page and just admire the artwork. So this one follows the story of Maestro. It's set in the future. You don't know what happened yet, and he's kind of in a simulation. And once he's finally awoken from the simulation, he realizes that someone captured him. He's old. Everyone around him's old. MODOK comes in. His people come in. And it's kind of just a confusing time for everyone at that moment. He doesn't know what's going on. We don't really know what's going on. But MODOK is just trying to explain the situation to the Hulk a little bit. And he's just not having it. He attacks everyone. He destroys everything. And, he pretty much just does what he wants to do. He wants to figure things out on his own. So after the story, progresses a little bit more, he calms down and he listens. And eventually he just makes it outside and he sees that the entire world is completely destroyed. The governments did it to themselves. And basically now it's our time to figure out what's really going on. Where is everybody? And I'm really looking forward to issue 2. I think it's going to be a great series. And despite all the shit that I like to talk on Marvel, I think they're going to do a great job with this one. So honestly, at first, I really didn't think I was going to get it. I heard a lot of people talking about it, and a lot of people were saying, you just got to pick it up. You got to read it. You're going to enjoy it. And, I did. I'm happy I did. All the people that were commenting and hitting me up on Instagram, I'm glad you let me know about it, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have gotten this. But overall, badass cover, badass issue. Looking forward to the next one. But sadly, it's one of Marvel's 5-issue mini runs. I'm so sick of those damn mini runs. I hate it. I feel like I'm wasting my money every single time. But I'm a sucker for Hulk. Had to get it. Next up, all you DC fans out there, Death Metal, right? Dark Knight's Death Metal Guidebook. I was talking about it in my last video. I wasn't sure what to expect. I really was just picturing some dude just sitting in the background yep, that's what's going on. That's how the world went to shit. And honestly, it kind of was like that. I really liked it. So, let's go. Next up, we have Death Metal Guidebook number 1. This is a one-shot, and just like the main run, this issue was fantastic. The artwork was great, the story was great, and for someone like me with not a lot of knowledge, this was a great jumping on point because they gave a great history and a nice recap of what happened prior to this whole event. They kind of showed what was going on with Perpetua, the Batman Who Laughs, how it all started, how they took over the world, what all the heroes were doing in the meantime, and how they kind of reacted to the Batman Who Laughed, bringing all the different Batmen from the dark multiverse. It was awesome, and the really creative and cool thing about this issue to me was was that they split it up into like 5 different small mini runs. They had the main one in the beginning that did the recap. They had a Harley Quinn one, an Aquaman, a Batman Jonah Hex, and it was just such a great read. I really enjoyed it, and for someone like me that's not too into DC, I highly advise checking this issue out, and it's definitely worth your time. Right? I thought that was so cool. I don't know, the way that they just divided up the stories like that, how it started off as like just a nice little recap and a refresher. I thought it was needed. It was needed for a reader like me. I feel like a reader could jump onto this issue and really enjoy it because I don't know, that's kind of me at this point. I don't really know a lot about DC. My knowledge really isn't too deep, and it was, like I said, it was a nice refresher. So, good work. I'm going to keep buying these. I'm really digging the series so far. And let's get to it. This is my top choice of the week, and I already know you know what it is, and I know you agree with me on this. Thor 6. This issue was fucking awesome. I loved every bit of it. The artwork was insane. I don't know. My mind was absolutely blown, and I can't wait to show it off for you, so let's get it going. Last up, and my top choice of the week, was Thor number 6 by Donnie Cates. This issue was incredible. I loved every bit of it. The artwork was fantastic, and the story was phenomenal. I love how they brought in Silver Surfer Black in the beginning. He's kind of talking to Thor, and he just really wanted to know what went down and what the Black Winter told him. And that was like the beginning, and they kind of went back to what really went down. The whole issue was fighting. The artwork covered both pages for most of them, and I was blown away just by looking at it. Half the time I wasn't even reading what words were on the page because of how good the artwork was. So after they fought the entire time, Thor did his thing. He beat up on Galactus, and then the Black Winter obviously was next in line. And just the way that Donnie Cates portrayed that story with the Black Winter coming back, and Thor absorbed all the powers that Galactus had and all the energy that he had from devouring the planets, and he just annihilated Black Winter. And after he took Black Winter down, a single little snowflake fell, and he asked him if he really wants to know how he dies. And holy shit, was that the most incredible page that I've seen in a long time. And I don't know where he's going to go with this story or what he's planning, but I am so excited to see Thanos with his dead army wielding an infinity Mjolnir. I highly advise reading this run if you're not reading it, and if you're not reading it, you might as well wait at this point because these issues are going for well over cover price. Donnie Cates, what the hell? How did you think of this, bro? This was incredible. I love this issue. I love this artwork. I don't know how you think of the things that you think of, but this is by far my top choice of the week. This issue was phenomenal, just like this story. I can understand why people are buying it up like no other. I bought 2 issues. Well, I've got pulls with 2 different shops right now, so I got 2 issues that way. I didn't overbuy. I'm not flipping them, but man, this was a hell of a series. So now it's up to you. What was your top choice of the week? Did I miss out on any books? Let me know down low in the comments section what you think of my books this week, and definitely my top choice. And let me know about that artwork too, because I would love to talk about it. So stay tuned for my next video. The next video should be coming Friday. I have a speculation idea for you. We're going to see if it pans out. So we're going to see. And with that, have a good night.